Is there okay?
get it
Get to
in
in like August.
August.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not
So-
surprised.
She said, then she called Blue Sky and they said, oh, sure. And she said they had like 5 numbers. And she said to the, to whoever she talked to, you have an awful lot of numbers. And she said, yep, we have a lot of locations. And
Hi there. So you're going to need at least one more person here.
Joan's supposed to be coming in.
Okay.
She's having computer problems.
Yeah, welcome to me.
Mark, Joan just emailed, she didn't have links, so I just sent it to her.
Okay. Susan, do we have enough to get started?
Yes, you do now.
Okay. Susan, why don't you go ahead and do roll call real quick while we're waiting? You're not.
You're muted, Susan.
Hey, guys.
You're still
sorry.
muted, Susan.
Uh-oh.
I'm muted, sorry.
Yes.
Ready?
Oh, we have
Okay,
technical-
Joan Eaton,
Hey, thank you. You're
Sean Platt. Cindy Neely, Betsy Blakesley,
Here.
Mark Reynolds,
Here.
Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Frank Ganser.
Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so can we get approval of the agenda, please?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda. Is that
A
appropriate?
second.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
So Betsy, that's where if you had any changes or anything to add, you would do it then. Audience business, do we have anyone on that is audience business? Okay, so that's the end of the audience business portion of our meeting for tonight. And our first old and new business is Alicia Singleton, 1901 Clear Creek Drive. Is someone here for Alicia?
I think Champion Window is, but he's muted.
Okay.
Sir, you're still muted.
Hang on.
There you
Champion
go.
Windows.
There you are. There you are. Okay. I'm sorry. Would you please state your name and the property that you'll be working on for us? I'm sorry. What's his name? For Alicia Singleton, Champion Window.
Steve Helms.
Steve. Okay, Steve, you were muted just a second ago. So are you here now?
I'm here.
Okay, great.
I can barely hear you though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn mine up a little. So if you could state your name and the address of the property you will be working on.
Steve Hemmans, Hemans with Champion Windows.
Okay. And just describe for us basically the project here.
Replacing some aluminum windows in an apartment with energy efficient vinyl windows. Same size,
Okay,
same style,
great. And then,
different material with vinyl.
right, and then let's see. So Mark, what's the trim like on that building? Are we okay with the same trim?
The only trim we would do would be aluminum with vinyl coating to, just to make sure the windows flash correctly on the outside, and interior vinyl trim to match the windows.
So it's painted a non-reflective finish. The vinyl is painted.
The vinyl, the aluminum trim and flashings are coated with the vinyl, not quite painted,
Okay,
but it'd be a matching color.
okay. Anybody have any questions or specifics?
Is there wood trim around the windows now?
I really can't hear you at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you hear
Is it-
anybody better? Can you hear me?
I can hear you really well, Joan, so.
Probably
Okay.
earphones, but it's really, really faint in my lunch pail earphones.
Give them a second here.
Looks like rain.
Yeah, let's look cloudy there. We didn't get our rain today.
Right. The more the better.
Yeah, well, I know, I'm all for rain a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I put earphones on. I can hear you now.
oh, good, good.
Yeah, you're much louder also.
Okay, so the question was, is the trim that's on there now wood?
I sent a picture of the property. I'll look over here.
Well, it's a little hard to tell from the picture.
You're not replacing the trim anyway, are you?
Yeah, it's wood.
Okay,
The type of window is part of the application, page 2. Type of home is wood.
and the trim around the window that, as it exists now, is wood?
Yeah, the whole siding is wood. But we're not doing anything to the wood or painting it. We're just flashing to it. So
the
we shed
trim,
water off of it.
the
The
trim
trim
that,
remains the same color.
but the trim that's on there now that is wood stays?
Stays, yes.
Okay, okay.
I think we really have to think about this a little bit because if they're going to continue to replace windows in that building, they should all match. So we have to come up with, so we don't get a hodgepodge of different windows like we did at the Creek House where they started replacing doors and there's all kinds of different doors.
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah. So this is an individual owner project, not the building itself?
Correct. This is a one single unit. And the color of the windows that was chosen by the homeowner was tan. And the contract indicates that there was no HOA necessary to approve it.
But it is a condo. It's a
Correct.
Silver Queen condos, correct? Yep.
Yeah, I think it's what you call a condo. It's a multi-family, 3-story.
When were these built? These condos?
Probably 71.
No.
Later.
Hi, Cindy. Yes,
There's Cindy.
yes. When were
Cindy
they-
dropped her computer and it didn't want to open up. Cindy
I-
apologizes.
Yes,
Not
sorry.
supposed to do that.
I know.
Okay, so what were you saying about the building when it was built, or?
These are the Silver Queen condos, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, you know, they are filing, I've forgotten, filing 4, filing 5 of the Meadows. And so you're someplace in the late 70s, early 80s?
Well, it was before 78 because we've got it targeted as a lead potential project or property.
So it could have been.
I hate to say this.
Nothing was built before.
Say this, I lived there in 73. I lived there in 73.
Oh, okay.
okay, so,
301B.
Early 70s.
okay, so our question, Cindy, was, are we gonna set some kind of a precedent for future, owners replacing windows in this building so that they all match? Because this is going from aluminum, to vinyl, correct?
Yes.
Clad.
Do we
No,
have
it's
any,
not clad. No, it's a solid multi-chamber vinyl extrusion.
Okay,
So you're going from a metal clad window to vinyls. So I
To
think that's
vinyl
what we have to
windows.
think about.
Right. And the
So-
color would be tan, and I imagine that if it's maybe a color thing, but we didn't require an HOA letter of approval.
what color are the windows now?
They didn't write that on my measure sheet.
My picture looks white, but that's the new one, correct?
That's the window I'm putting in, right? That's the proposed window.
But that's not the tan? That's white.
Yeah, photographs wouldn't do the tan any justice,
Okay, so,
but I could send a piece of the material in the mail.
so it will look
If-
different than the other
no.
windows in the building?
If they're mill finished aluminum, yeah.
So that's the problem. We don't have enough information. We need to know what the rest of the building are, which isn't your problem, it's our problem. 'Cause all of a sudden we start putting white windows in these buildings, it's gonna look pretty odd if the rest of them are brown or tan. They all ought to be the same, it's my opinion.
Well, with individual owners, how do you control that?
Is there an HOA though?
They should
It
have
really
their
doesn't
own
make any
HOA.
difference if there's an HOA, they still gotta come through us and we can dictate the window
Well, that's the
by
thing.
saying
So,
they have to match all the rest of the windows, so.
right.
The HOA or whoever should probably come up with a standardized window that's acceptable for the whole complex, because there's a lot of units down there.
Yeah.
And
And
we're
you
gonna
could
start
end up
replacing
with a
sliders.
real
and
hodgepodge.
those Sliders have always been a problem down there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
they wouldn't be replaced all at the same time, so in the best world, you'd have two different windows going in. You have the existing ones that would remain until such time as
Mhm.
somebody decides that they want to replace them.
Well, you want to
That's
go towards the better windows. So there may be a time lag where they all get replaced. Cindy, what were you saying? It was over someone else.
Because I sort of agree with Mark. What we're in the business for is overall appearance, and overall appearance would tell us that in one single building, we don't want to end up with a hodgepodge look in the windows. So
Do we know
I-
who the president is of the HOA? Is there a president? Like, is there somebody who's in that role?
There is.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, do you know him?
I know him. I would have to look into my paperwork to find his name.
Okay. So are we
It
saying?
might-
So are we saying here
Sorry,
that
excuse me.
color needs to be consistent with what exists, or do they need to tell their residents any going forward, any new windows have to all match these?
I think that's a discussion with the HOA, but I
Okay.
think we need to have a discussion with the HOA. And we have to talk about the fact that we want a coherent appearance to the building. And
Right.
so what that might require, I mean, you could probably use different materials actually and still come up with a coherent appearance.
Yeah.
If your colors matched, your sizes stayed the same, and and you had the same number of window lights or whatever it is that creates that appearance. It may not be a question of materials, but it definitely is a question of overall appearance. And so if we're going to get into the idea of a guideline that says that in multifamily residences, the windows, or, need to be of a consistent appearance. Yeah, I think that we talk to the HOA and say, how is that best defined from their vantage point?
So what I'm understanding, Steve, is that the window is the same appearance as far as it's double hung with no
It's
divided line
function, right? Yeah.
and the same size, but we just need to determine this color aspect as far as
Exterior color appearance.
whether they're going to change colors overall, or because everybody can't replace the windows and have different colors, obviously. So if we can get this confirmed, figured out with the HOA president, do we need to table this, do you think? And
I think we need to be able to contact him, and I think that
Okay.
we have a right to table if we have an issue. So I would recommend that we do that, yes.
okay.
Okay.
So Steve, we'll get in touch with him, and is that us or on Steve? I think that's on us.
That's on us.
Okay, so we will get in touch with him, determine, it's basically a color issue here so that there's a cohesiveness in the entire building. Mark? Did you have something?
We can't hear you, Mark. We still can't hear you.
No,
There you go.
there we are, there we are.
I think we might as well drag in sliding doors into the conversation too.
Sure.
And it's not only color, but these
Right.
different window manufacturers are going to be different sizes. Not all of them are going to be the same
Okay.
trim and
Well-
everything. So I think we have to take a good look at it and maybe have them decide, well, we're going to have Champion, we're going to use Champion replacement windows for the whole thing or whoever. But at least get it down to the right color and the right materials.
Right. Okay. Well, the ones Steve's talking about tonight are the same size as the existing ones.
Yeah, same size and same function.
Okay. So if that's what we want to do, I guess I need to hear a motion to table.
I have one question, Steve. Aren't those sliders in the bottom part of the window? In the existing?
I just took a screenshot of that. I'm not sure if that represents the unit, but what I'm looking at could possibly be an Oriole, which is a 2/3, 1/3 type of a configuration.
'Cause I remember them being a slider on the bottom or something.
On the bottom of a picture window.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be.
so we might approach and see if they want to go to a double hung and make it standard or whatever. But that's
Yeah,
up
so
to
you would
them.
have the same lines. You know, extra line, I guess. These don't have any grids or anything. No.
Just as a point for discussion, how many different types of condos?
Nancy, start over. There was noise on your speaker there.
For a point of discussion, approximately how many different sets of condos do we have in Georgetown that were constructed in the late 70s, like 40 years ago?
All of them.
All of them? About how many is that? About how many buildings is that?
Well, we basically have Silver Queen condos and the Creek House condos. And we have a series of townhouses in Major Anderson. But the townhouses, the townhouses approach more as singular units. So that's, you know, they're not in a coherent single building.
Right, so it's sort of like shades of Florida in that we have some aging condos, right? So we're trying to have consistency in how they would remain.
Ooh, somebody's like rubbing something over their speaker or their microphone. And that makes a lot of disruption.
I would think that, you know, the Creek House has a distinct look. So Silver Queen condos has a distinct look. So I think that we're trying to sort of say that it's time to talk to those homeowners associations about some basic guidelines on as they need to upgrade certain parts of it, what that means.
Okay, so it'll make it easier for everybody going forward if we come to some form of agreement.
Right.
It will.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
All right. So do I hear a motion?
Well, I'm going to make a motion that we table this until the next meeting, which is the only length of time that we have to table. And in order for us to contact the homeowners association to see if we can agree upon some mutual guidelines for some of the exterior upgrade of windows and doors.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, so Steve, you'll be on the agenda in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we will hopefully have this all resolved for you, and then we can give you the answer.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So Dave Leonardson, 2009 Alliance Street. Is anybody here for Dave? Oh yeah, I see.
Yes, we're here.
Okay. Just bringing you in. Sorry, shuffling. Okay, so if you'll state your name and the address of the property of your project, please.
Okay. It's Dave and my wife Judy Leonardson. And we own one half of the duplex at 2009 Alliance Drive here in Georgetown.
All right. And we're replacing windows, it looks like.
Yes, we're dealing with replacement by Anderson, a renewal by Anderson Windows. And we turned in the application and with the pictures and contract and everything. So that's why we're here for approval for these windows.
Okay. The first thing I see is there's one, so you're doing the whole condo or the whole duplex except one window?
Yeah, there's one window that we are holding off on because in the future, we are hoping to take that window out possibly this coming fall and replacing it with a sliding door.
So
But
you,
that's not what the application is at the moment. It's
It's-
for the 10 windows.
Right.
Correct.
So-
It has nothing, there's nothing on the application for the door.
Okay, so that would be another discussion about that door, possibly.
Yes, later time, yes.
Okay, okay. All
Now,
right,
this is half of a duplex that you're talking about? And someone has already got.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so it's the same situation we just talked about with the condos where half a building could be one style window and the other half could be a different style.
Actually, the two halves of the duplex are already not the same.
yeah, they're pretty different.
And in duplexes in the meadows, that's fairly common.
Huh.
That one half is substantially different than the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is everybody viewing Jennifer's screen?
Yeah,
Good
Jennifer,
boss.
you're sharing just the packet screen. We don't have a. Is that Kent? No, that's Jen. It might be Kent.
No. they're
Can
all
you
the
turn the
same.
screen share? There we go. Okay.
About that, guys.
It's all right. Okay, so what have we got here?
The thing that changes about this actually is the color. The windows are, and the material of the windows. And the windows now go to a wood composite frame. Is that correct, sir?
Yes,
Right now, they are a vinyl, which is warped. The windows don't even close tightly. They won't even lock.
Right.
Welcome to vinyl.
So we
Well,
want to change it to a wood
Tell.
composite.
is the bronze, does it have a matte finish? In other words, not a
I
shiny?
believe so. I believe so.
Because our guideline it flat out says, I'm on page 93 in book 3 and B says that, yeah, this is a perfectly appropriate window material, etc., but that it should have a matte finish.
Okay,
Whatever.
we can make sure that that's correct.
Yeah, whatever color it is, we don't,
Not reflective.
we would hope not to make your windows shining lights in the night.
Exactly. Right now, it's white vinyl.
Right. And so the bronze, the bronze tone, color isn't up to us, but finish is, as far as matte and non-reflective.
I'm quite sure it is.
And you'll agree to that it will not be reflective, correct?
yes.
If it is, well, we can retain the white. I mean, we can put in the white if it's not, but I'm pretty sure it's matte because we saw it and it isn't shiny.
Yeah, okay, good.
Great.
Susan, book 3, page 93, section 3, B.
that it? And they're all the same size?
Mhm.
Okay,
They're all, yeah, they're exact replacements.
okay. Anything else?
If there isn't, I would make a motion that we approve the application for the Leonardsons at 2009 Alliance Street to replace the 10 of the 11 windows with the stipulation that the finish be a non-reflective matte finish.
I'll second that, Mark.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay,
Right, Dave, you're in.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
We do have one question. When will we get something in writing so that we can go ahead and get those windows ordered
Tomorrow?
Jennifer?
tomorrow?
I just go
That's
to the
right.
town hall.
Yeah, just go down to town hall and Kent will have that for you.
Perfect. We appreciate it and thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming in.
We hope
Thank you.
you're nice and warm. Yeah.
Right.
Cindy, just for the record, we've always kind of treated duplexes as a single unit house, so to speak, haven't we?
Well, they're usually different styles, both of them. So, yeah.
We've allowed a lot of different details. I mean, some of them
Yeah.
have porches on one half and don't,
Well, siding and paint and everything else, trim. But we've always kind of treated them, I'm trying to compare it to the condos,
Yeah.
stipulating that duplexes should be treated as a single unit rather than a complex, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Is there anything in the guidelines?
no, nothing that differentiates between, I mean, that's a piece of the problem we obviously just encountered. Nothing that differentiates between a multiple family
Yeah.
single building and a single family single building.
So you could ostensibly have a purple half on one side and a beige half on the other side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have nothing to do with paint, so you certainly can have that.
Right. Okay.
and we do.
I
Yeah.
just-
All right. There we have it. Okay.
Okay. So moving along, our next item is George Schnittgrund. And this is real property located at block 42, lots 11 through 14, Main Street. And we have a recommendation to the Board of Adjustment regarding a variance request. Is George with us or somebody for him?
I don't have George here, no.
No one's on?
Didn't ask
Okay.
me.
All right.
I can go through briefly what his request is and why it's going
Okay.
to the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, go ahead, please.
The George and Rita Schnittgrund own 3.5 lots on Main Street between 9th and 10th Street. And they're currently undeveloped. And I should have had the map ready to show you.
I think we have it. in our
I have a
packet.
map. Well, I have a map.
Yeah, you probably have it within there. But it's 11, 12, 13 in the south half of 14. The north half of 14 goes with 301 10th Street, which is just to the north of it. If you see the 301 on the map. there.
On lot 11, it looks like there's a building.
Yes, there's a shed.
There's a shed, and actually Jennifer has put it up on the screen here. It kind of
Okay,
shows with
there
this
actually is
one.
a structure there.
Yeah, there is a structure. It's an old shed.
Yes, it's a very old shed.
Is it
I think it's
historically?
probably, yes, I think it's probably even listed as a contributing structure.
Okay,
The shed. is.
So it would. We did look it up and we didn't find it among the contributing structures, but it's old enough that I can't believe it wasn't cataloged and included in the,
Yeah, neither can I.
so That's what's on a lot of, the lot line actually goes through, cuts off about a third of the shed. So it goes right through the middle of it. And then lot 12, lot 13, and half of lot 14.
Except that
And go ahead.
can't let's not go to the one they want to eliminate, the proposed yet. Could you get back to the current one? Okay,
Sure.
if you look at their lot, their second lot is
Uh-huh.
essentially all all of 12. Because to talk about the fact that is there any way we can see the whole current map at one time?
Sure. Just zoom back out.
Okay, yeah. If you look at it, yes, their current lot arrangement, their first lot down there is pretty much lot 11. Their
Yeah.
second lot is lot 12 and part of 13.
No, it's not. They have it wrong on here.
They have
According
it
to the
wrong?
assessor's office, it's the dashed lines
Oh,
is the boundary between the different lots.
Okay, yeah.
Then
So,
this isn't
Lot
their,
12 is by itself. Lot 13 is all by itself. And the half of lot 14 is all by itself.
and lot 13 is, the perimeters are the two dash lines?
The two dash lines, yeah.
Not, okay, so when we're looking at lot 13, lot 14 on this map, that's like the hard lines do not represent reality, is that correct?
Correct. Correct. They go to the actual
What they would like,
map, Clear County interactive map, that one. I don't know if you can get close enough. You're gonna have to zoom in.
but we
And
can't.
then the smudge marks are on it.
There you go.
But you notice the yellow, that's the actual lot lines between their lots. And you can't see my cursor. I don't know why I'm pushing my cursor saying, see, look. But
Well, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see your.
Somebody.
well, that's Jennifer's. Jennifer's with me tonight, so
So
it's
so Ken-
Jennifer's cursor.
are you saying that the map that we have that says current is not correct?
Right.
Yeah,
It's
Correct, but
it's the
the dash line.
dotted
Oh, is it?
The survey lines are the dotted lines and that's what's current.
Yeah,
So that
It's the
little
dash.
little bit at the top is not part of these three lots right now.
yeah. It's 3.5 lots. Yeah.
And they don't have them already in these, so this isn't a current map at all. This is not a map that's relative to us,
Well,
because the dark lines.
it's not the best map. No.
Well,
It
the
is not
dark
the best
lines
map.
do not show what the current situation is.
well, I have a document that I picked up, a hard copy, and it has yellow lines and green lines indicated.
Yeah.
And indicating as deleted and created. Yeah, that.
There we go. But the yellow lines are the current lines. The green lines are the proposed lines.
yes.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, it does. But the question becomes, the base question here is that the standard lot size, according to the zoning, is 5,000 square feet. The lots these folks already own are less than 5,000 square feet. So they are grandfathered in that way, because the lot you have is the lot you've got. And when you have the same owner on a group of lots, can they then reorganize their property and create lots that are still less than 5,000 square feet? That's the baseline question here. And that's the question that the Board of Adjustments has to decide, because this commission is not the commission that makes variances. That's why they need a variance, because they're creating something that is not within the zoning.
And what they're asking to create still is not a 5,000 square foot lot.
Correct.
So it
And
would,
could you create 5,000 square foot lots out of this? Yeah,
Sure.
you could create two 5,000 square foot lots. One of them would have the shed on it. And they don't want to do that. And so they have their reasons for wanting to go to the Board of Adjustments. I think the question to our commission is, do we, I mean, we're asked for advice. Either we like it, don't like it, or say that the conclusion of this is really, or we're neutral. We have,
Isn't this preemptive though? I mean, don't we need to have some kind of a ruling before we give an opinion?
no, because our opinion affects.
advisory matter sheet, and if you look at item 7 on the advisory matter sheet, it's, compliance of proposed development or work with all applicable design guidelines. If they were to plan on putting a house on those lots, would they be able to, on the newly sized lots, or even the existing lots, would they be able to and still meet things like off-road parking and setbacks and all that kind of stuff? Would they be able to meet the design guidelines for putting a new house on there?
They would have a difficult time in the existing situation, but they are not. That's why that map that we got that said current, that isn't, actually was sort of a grouping that would come closer to being able to do that. In any case, they have to combine lots really in order to comfortably put a house. Would they be allowed to on a 3750? Yes, because they're grandfathered in as 3750 lots.
Well, the current, if they maintain the current lot lines where they are, they're grandfathered in. If they
Yes.
change it, they're not grandfathered.
If they change them, correct.
Okay, but the current lots are smaller than the 3 new proposed lots, which would give you a little more room for driveway access and that type of thing. If we go with the current lines, then there's this extra half a lot, that would give possibly 1 lot, more room, but the other 2 are going to be much smaller as far as size of house, driveway, that type of thing.
Joan, I don't think it's up to us to recommend how to fix this.
No, no. That's just the other side of the thing. I'm just thinking for the outcome of what could possibly be built there. Is it better to have 3 more similar size lots or 2 smaller? See what I'm saying? One's going to be much bigger. The other 2 are much smaller. No, I'm not advocating for or against.
I think all we can do is point out the difficulties that they would have in meeting applicable design criteria, such as off-street parking, setbacks. I would question if someone were planning to build on lot 11 or proposed lot 3 where the existing shed is, would they anticipate demolishing the shed? Because we'd probably have a problem with that.
Mm.
And whether they do or not, I think the question, we have things that on our sheet that we're supposed to take a look at the effect of the proposed change on the general historic or architectural character of a structure or an area. The architectural characters changes when you squeeze houses into smaller spaces.
That's why we have the minimum lot size criteria.
Correct.
Are
And
these
so,
below the minimum right now currently?
Yes.
Yes,
All of them are?
Not all of them, no.
Okay.
all of them are, Kent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
None of them.
Well, yeah,
are-
below the 5,000, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
there's
there
no-
is not a single lot that is 5,000 among the 3.5 lots,
Okay.
which is common in the historic residential area. I mean,
Well, not quite
But-
common,
But
the vast
grandfather-
majority of lots are less than 5,000.
not true.
A lot of what I look at ends up less than 5,000 square feet.
And that's the grandfathered in part. of it.
Yes.
So to keep them as they are, they've got 3 lots. To try to change them, maybe not.
That's a question.
Well, they have, they have that piece of lot 14. I mean, if, you know, but I don't think we're here to solve it. If you took out the line between 13 and 14, you have a good lot size.
And
That gives you one at that end. If you take out, you know, something on the other end, you can end up with 2 good sized lots if you do it differently. They want 3.
Yeah.
And so the question is, I mean, when you grandfather something, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because current design review commission guidelines would not approve. Therefore, you're grandfathered into something that doesn't meet the criteria. So the question is, are we trying to carry through grandfathering into different lot creations here? Because that's not what you do when you grandfather, right?
No.
The design review guidelines don't dictate lot size. That's a
No.
zoning thing.
That's a zoning.
Right.
So that's not our call anyway.
That's
Okay.
true.
But
Well,
even if they do these changes, they won't fit the current guideline. They won't fit the current zoning issue.
Right,
for the
and that's
size of
somebody
lot.
else's issue. That's somebody else's issue to decide.
But
But
so
what I hear Kent saying is that we should do this because there are a lot that aren't meeting the
I'm
criteria.
not saying yes or no. I'm just saying that even on that block over on Griffith, there are multiple lots that are less than 5,000 square feet. Because the block
Okay, grandfather?
has boundaries as Griffith and Main, 9th and 10th. There's lots on the Griffith side, just behind these lots, that are less than 5,000 square feet too. So
those are all grandfathered in, Betsy. And
That's
so
right.
to
And I-
change it.
or they're
means-
already built upon.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're already built upon, so they don't
That's
have
right.
some of the requirements we now have as far as what Bob was talking about in off-street parking and those kinds of things. And so
Right.
if they do this, I think that, you know, they should be aware that it's probably not going to meet a bunch of other requirements. I mean,
And I think that's what we could identify to them, that,
Right.
you know, there's a maximum lot coverage percentage. I'm not sure whether it's 35 or 40 or what it is.
40 in this district.
in this
It's
district.
40.
So that's going to dictate the maximum size
Footprint.
house that they can put on that piece of property. They've got to have off-street parking for 1 or 2 vehicles. I'm not sure which it is, but they have to have that to build something. And they have to meet the setbacks in the front, which are probably 15 feet, I think. And then 5 on the sides and 5 on the back. So overlay all that in, you know, they could put a shed.
So basically what I'm hearing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that if we go ahead, because there actually are a lot of others in that area that are on smaller lots or grandfathered or whatever, don't we open ourselves up to other parts of the town saying, well, they were able to create a lot size that was outside the guidelines? I mean,
Well,
doesn't that
zoning.
back us into a corner?
Exactly.
We're not, we have no authority to rule on the lot size.
But our
all we can do
suggestion
is
is to stay
provide-
conforming.
We basically inform the, whatever, the other committee
the Board of Adjustment.
What our issues would be, should they go ahead and approve this and then they come back and they want to put a house on it?
Yeah, I think you're on the right track, Bob, as far as, and remember, this is just a recommendation.
Right.
It's an advisory, but they depend on your recommendation for a
How
lot
about
of
we go-
information.
How about we go through the 7
Right.
criterias and see what is yes and what's not applicable? And then at the bottom, overall recommendation, we make one.
Okay. I'm thinking I'm hearing that the group in general feels that you either stick to what's existing because it is grandfathered in and that they can deal with how, appropriately. But once you want to give up your grandfathered in thing, then you're going to have to deal with modern zoning, which would probably only mean 2 lots, correct? For what else could be done
I
there?
don't think it has anything to do with that.
Okay, okay. Well, yeah, we're not suggesting.
They're gonna have, I mean, with the small lots that are there now, the ones that are grandfathered in, they still have to meet setbacks, size.
Yeah.
Driveway, all that. I mean, that's irregardless
Okay,
what they do with these lots. It's really, we don't have a horse in that race.
okay.
We really don't.
All right. Okay, so let's go through it as Mark suggested on number 1, the effect of the proposed change upon the general historic and/or architectural character of the structure of area.
Well, part of the architectural character of any area is the rhythm of houses down the street. And pursuing undersized lots ultimately creates some difficulty in that department, in that.
Consistency.
What about the shed, the existing shed?
I don't think we make a determination of any kind on that shed, Bob, until we know something about that shed.
I think that's a good point.
Okay, so possible historic structure or contributing structure on property?
Yeah, I
There
mean,
is a possible historic structure on that property, but the point, number 1, is that the effect on the general historic character of the area. Well, the historic houses, some of them are a little close together, and then you have spaces. I mean, in a sense, I worry about the people across the street because we're going to get a parade of driveways, which is not in the general character of the area. So
Well,
it would be difficult to meet some of the other guidelines.
and a lot of the really small historic houses do not have driveways
Like,
that are on small lots. Yeah, like Tower Street, same thing. And I think probably a couple of the houses near here as well.
mhm.
and I have plenty of yard room, but nobody ever built a garage, and I'm not going to.
Okay.
We wouldn't approve you anyway, Cindy.
I know.
Don't come back. So number 2 is the architectural style, arrangement, texture, and materials used on existing and proposed structures and their relation to other structures in the area.
I don't think that applies.
No, we don't really know.
That's an NA.
Okay. You still got to come back for that. Number 3, the effects of the proposed work in creating, changing, destroying, or affecting otherwise the exterior architectural features of the structure upon which such work is to be done. That one's NA.
Yep.
Okay. The effects of the proposed work upon the protection, enhancement, perpetuation, and use of the structure or area.
I would say that one goes with exactly the same comment as number 1.
Okay. And the use to which the structure or area will be put.
That's an NA because it's all residential anyway.
Well, so, I mean, it is a residential area, so residential.
Maybe that's what we need to just point that it is a residential.
Yeah.
Okay. The condition of existing improvements and whether or not they are a hazard to public health or safety.
That's,
Okay.
I
doesn't
think
apply.
that's the parking issue.
Really?
Potential
Okay.
parking issue.
Okay.
They're
We
not
can
able
add
to do off-street parking. Main Street is a major
Yeah,
pathway through town.
okay. And then number 7, compliance of the proposed development or work with all applicable design guidelines.
This,
That's why I think where you say potential difficulty complying with off-street parking, residence size, setbacks, that kind of thing.
Demolition.
except that setbacks aren't up to us, so in a sense, but because they're talking about applicable design guidelines, not applicable zoning regulations.
That's true.
And so I'm not sure, Joan, that I would go very far with number 7.
Okay, so,
It refers directly to our design guidelines. We
okay, so-
don't have a structure under design, so
okay. And so our overall recommendation,
overall recommendation, I think, is that in general, we do not encourage
This behavior.
no, we don't encourage the formation, because this is the formation of new lots. We understand this to be the formation of new lots, and we don't encourage the formation of new lots that do not
Meet the minimum lot size.
yes, the minimum sizes established by zoning. And then it goes to the Board of Adjustment. They will decide what they decide.
I think that's a good summary. I think if you had a phrase at the end, because it affects so many other things within the design guidelines.
Yes, I would agree
I
with that.
think I think it would be okay to have that on the end of that overall recommendation.
all right, say that one more time, Kent.
Because it affects a number of other items within the design guidelines.
Right, it does.
The lot size and formation of the new lots. is
What do
because-
we mean by it affects? What does in effects mean? It affects.
It basically, it intersects with, rather than affects, it intersects with other general guidelines that
It intersects or it
Impacts?
impacts.
Impacts is a better word. Yeah,
Impacts.
that's probably a better
Go with
word.
impacts.
All right, Jennifer, I'm gonna need a new sheet tomorrow.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, all right, and so for number 1, I was writing on another paper because there were several people speaking, and it was the rhythm of houses down the street in this character act. It affects the rhythm of houses down the street in this character actor area, possible historic structure on property. Is that good with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I can fill that in later because I got to do a new one. All right, so are we all ready to?
How do we do, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How do we verify the age of the shed and whether it's a historic property?
We first of all go to our old fire maps and see if it shows up on our old fire maps. And so we have them for the late 1890s, early 1900s. So we will first look on the Sanborn fire maps and see if that shed appears, because they put every structure. It's really a gift to the town that those things exist.
All right, thanks for clarifying that for me.
And then even the tax record should show something.
So we have a way. of
Yeah,
the-
oh yeah, we have a way.
Ways. Okay, we don't need a vote on that, correct?
Yes, we need to vote on,
Oh, Sorry.
this is our our overall recommendation is, what is it?
Our overall
You want me to
recommendation.
read you something?
Yes, please.
Yes.
DRC does not encourage formation of new lot sizes under minimum of approved lot si- or under current minimum of approved lot size, as it impacts a number of other items within design guidelines.
I'm good with that. I would make the motion that that be the advice that we send to the Board of Adjustment.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
I,
All right, against? All right. And last, we have the town of Georgetown, Strauss Park. And it's like we are ready to take a look at these restrooms.
This is for the restrooms only. It is not for the
Yes.
park. The whole-
Restrooms only.
And this is a prefab deal.
It's all concrete.
Even the siding is concrete?
Yep, and the roof, everything.
Okay.
I thought the roof was a metal.
No, it only looks like metal.
It is,
It's a concrete roof that looks like a metal roof?
That's my take on it. You have different information, Ken?
yeah, I have his, but I need to find it real quick. Hold on. From CXT, I think it's ribbed metal. So from the manufacturer.
I've got my old one here.
And we're going to order this from the manufacturer, aren't we?
Correct.
Danny, it's all precast concrete panels.
Yeah, because it says ribbed metal texture.
Right.
It's a fortress.
Like what you see in national parks and
I know. I
I
mean,
know all about fortresses. Revolutionary fortresses, even earlier than that.
actually, I would speak to the slide that Kent showed at the beginning. Kent, can we see the floor plan for the whole park again, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you see where the restroom is?
Yeah.
That it disappeared.
You went to the second page, Jennifer. No, you had it. You were all right.
go back. Yep.
Back one.
No, go up one.
Floor plan. There.
There.
That one. That's one.
Because if you notice the booths, which at this point extend out that far anyway, and the line in back of the restrooms is the wall of the back of the Niceland Anderson Hardware. So those booths virtually cover. Actually, they will end where that dotted line is, isn't it, Kent? Because they,
Straight out from Nicel's.
no,
Yes.
no, not straight out from Nicel's. They will end a little further out than that.
Yep.
They will end at the next
Yes,
dotted line
yes.
over.
Oh, okay, halfway, yeah.
12 or 17 is, that line there is the end of the booths.
Okay,
Keep moving over.
To
Keep
the
moving
right.
to your right,
To
to
the
the
right.
right, to the right, to the right. Whoop,
a little
come
bit
back to
left,
the dotted line. Come back to the first dotted line.
a little more,
Little more, come back a little more.
a little more. There you go.
Oh, no, no.
Keep-
To the right.
Right
There,
there.
yay.
Okay, so they come out that far. This is not a very wide structure. So it is almost invisible. From, coming down Rose Street, yes, you'll see it, but it is not as though it's sitting out. It's really tucked
You won't see
away.
it from 6th Street at all. From
No,
the
you won't
corner.
see it from
You won't
6th
see
Street
it
at all.
Corner.
Are there gonna be signs to this so that people in town can know where it is, can find it?
Well, people will find it pretty quickly. Yes, I think there will be.
Quickly.
Right.
And actually, it is situated in a way that there's enough space between the back of the hardware and the booth so that the hardware someday is going to get an exit right out there. And the water can go down into the curb. The water will head east and come down the curb and gutter that will be sort of placed in front of this, around and in front of this, this building. And the building is, Bob, how many feet wide? 10, 11
17.2, is
wide?
that right?
No, I think the 17.2 is the front. I'm talking about the
Okay.
little width right here.
I can't read.
10'2".
10.3,
10.3.
10.3 with the overhang.
Yeah, that's the roof width.
Yeah. So that's 10 feet. And quite honestly, if you walk back there right now, there's 10 foot of mess.
Yeah.
And so actually what this does is clean up that whole corner and put in, it's also not very tall. How tall are we?
It is,
Read that.
I need a magnifying glass,
Right.
yeah,
or new eyes.
13.6.
Yeah, I think so. So this is a small building tucked in a corner. And we've outfitted it with dark colors.
Well, I think it's a big necessity.
No, me too.
Now, is that terrace to the right of the last dotted line? Or what is that? That's just open space, is that correct?
Yes.
Even though there's a line going across the front of it?
Yeah, it's a sidewalk area.
You're stepping into the parking lot, basically.
Oh, I see.
You've got a couple steps up from the stairs or from the walkway that borders the parking lot. You got a couple stairs up to the elevation of the park
Okay.
back at that corner.
Mhm. So it looks great, right?
I think
I
it looks
think it
fine.
tucks in very well.
Yeah.
I don't know where else you would put a bathroom. I mean, to me, that's a perfect location.
Perfect.
And right on the main street, the main shopping street.
Because the booths that are on the south end of the park, the double booths that you see down the south end, actually are not where the south end booths are right now. They're
Oh.
pushed back towards the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
So you've given yourself a little bit more room in the park, but the whole thing sort of shields away from, I mean, your restroom is not prominent at all.
Yeah, it's nice. It provides a little sense of privacy.
Yeah.
Like you're not
The-
walking into it directly off of one of the booths. Which is nice.
Yeah.
And the siding is going to be a sort of a concrete lap, isn't it?
Yep.
And the siding, we did get to discuss colors on this one, and somewhere there was colors.
Yeah.
I think we had the colors finalized last time.
Yes.
And there were,
I don't think you were here for that discussion, Cindy, so you might want to look at those colors.
Well,
I think it was, you've got a
I think,
yeah, dark burgundy and then a Java brown on the
Yeah,
roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I think that just, you're back up against the tin shop of the hardware store. So, you're in those colors anyway.
Well, this has got circled mocha caramel, which is not a dark burgundy. A rosewood would be a dark burgundy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think mocha caramel does it though.
Okay, as long as you're cool with that, I just wanted to clarify.
yeah, I think we talked about the time before last about those colors.
Right.
Okay.
And initially they had started out with sort of a honey yellow color.
Yeah.
And that would make it sort of jump out at everybody. And so we sort of toned it down, so.
John,
Yes.
Just want to let you know that the roof is metal. There's a
Okay.
change
Interesting.
on the actual order form with what we're ordering from the manufacturer, or what we will order, would
Okay.
order if it would be approved, is it's ribbed metal,
Is it
and
Java?
it's and
It's-
yeah, it will have that color.
It's the middle of the
That's
top,
identifying.
ribbed metal.
Java brown, yeah, okay.
Okay, great.
I think that's the texture, rib metal texture.
Yeah,
Well, and on the order, okay,
We need to confirm that.
they also,
Concrete.
Hmm. Everything is concrete, it says, doesn't it?
Yeah,
okay,
and we could confirm that with the manufacturer.
yeah, we can confirm it with the manufacturer. Yeah.
we have a stipulation about that it be one or the other?
I don't think that we do at this point. It is
Okay.
a set unit, and we understand it to be a set unit, very akin to what Forest Service, Park Service uses. And we're after super durability in this.
Right, okay.
Yeah, may
We
not,
have the look of a horizontal lap siding. We have the look of a ribbed roof.
I like the idea that maybe it's a little more muted texture than a metal roof. Is that something we are assuming here?
No, I think if it's either, it's not going to be
A problem.
a
Yeah.
problem. It's not going to be a significant difference.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any sightings, or have we been over this enough to?
Well, I hope that we've been over this enough, because if we don't spend the money, we lose it.
Right.
So it's an accessory structure, huh?
Yeah, not a utility exactly. It is a utility.
Probably doesn't fit because it's a special case.
You know, there was a thing when we were looking at Steve's thing for Guanella Pass about the tanks out and back, about utility structures or whatever. So whatever will fit better.
But on page 91 of book 2, it fits a lot of those criteria for something that's an accessory. It's an accessory to the park.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
And it's located at the rear of the lot. And it's subordinate to everything that's around it or going to be around it.
Okay, give me your signings, please.
Okay, 91, page 91, book 2, section 5, new accessory structures, A. Located to the rear of the lot.
B,
B, constructed that is subordinate. B1, it should not it should be unobtrusive and not compete visually. It says with the house, but with anything.
Right.
And B2,
and I think we should comment about B3, pre-manufactured storage structures are not allowed, but in this case, because of, the function of this structure being a public restroom, we want it to be highly durable and easily cleaned. So we're going with,
and it's not a storage structure.
It's
Yeah.
not plastic.
Yeah.
And it's kind of custom.
Yeah.
And C, it should be similar to get those seen, basic rectangular forms with a hipped or gabled roof. And we insisted that it have a gable roof. We insisted it have some overhang, and that its siding give us a lap appearance.
Was that D as in dog?
No,
C.
C.
C, okay.
And as far as the materials in the section on materials, what it says is that we can look at other materials. And this is, which is page 81, new building materials. And it's section 5, new building materials, D. And essentially sort of D1. The newer, it says synthetic maybe, but the newer materials may be considered if they appear similar in character and detailing. And this is what we're attempting to do here.
Okay.
How about D2 with the
91 under,
lap siding dimensions?
did we get D under 5 on page 91? Which is maintain the traditional range of building materials and accessory structures. Which, you know, it's concrete, but we're making it look like lap siding and metal roof.
Okay.
And E, number 2.
Where are you?
On page 91.
That's page 92. I mean, 82. We're on 80 in 81 and 82.
Back to 91 though, didn't we? On
Are
D?
we back to 91?
Bob went back to 91 for D, and then you have E2.
Well, I was just thinking it doesn't look like a house, right?
Yeah, it's very simple in details.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, you know, all of 91 really applies fairly well.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So are we done at D1 on page 81?
Yes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
No, there was D2 from Champlain.
From page 81?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, okay. Good one. All right. Anything else? Do I hear a motion?
I would move that we approve the Strauss Park restroom design per the sightings noted.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay. New bathrooms. All right. And then we have some minutes.
And I'm going to duck out and catch up with the kid I see very rarely.
Okay. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes. Is that appropriate?
Yes, if you don't have any changes, did anybody else have
Yes.
any changes?
I didn't see anything.
See anything?
All right. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Against? All right. And that concludes our meeting, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks.
Good work,
All of you, good work.
really.
Good
Good night.
night. I'll bring stuff over tomorrow, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. I see you're still on there. Would you
Yeah.
print me a new decision form for that? Because I wrote some stuff on here.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, definitely. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, bye.